All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, December 13th. Happy birthday to one of my good old friends, Kevin. Great to see all of us here in the cyber group room. We have Ari, Norman, we have Leda, Vincent, Patrick, Grant still sticking with us here. Great to see you all. And if you're joining us back on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as well. Great to see Alan K live in cyber group. So let's get things started. This BFRI stock making a nasty shake for us right now, at least, ended up making a beautiful run, very steady off the lows. It wasn't like the fastest mover, and that's fine. But it was a little choppy. This is a little choppy of a trend. If you were following it off the lows mainly, then it made it that much easier for you to try and run this up. But across the morning, this BFRI trade, it was taking its sweet time. Ended up bouncing essentially from six, ended up breaking above its opening bell print price. I believe that was right off $6.53. And once it finally cracked that opening bell price, well, you could see where it held it as support. Not just $6.50, but $6.53 in particular, to where once it came back down to that level for the first time to test it as support, well, it goes back to what we always say here, right? When a stock breaks above a major resistance and runs from it, well, the first time it comes back down to that same level is the best time to see it hold as support. The first time's the best time. That's the quote. So I ended up jumping into this trade right over here, right off the 650, 653 area. Made a nice bounce at first, but man, this just kept giving us, right? So I ended up getting out a bit too early on that trade. Took about 35 cents or 30 cents, but obviously it kept on going. I had the chance to re-enter this trade a bit later on, and it wasn't up until right around 732. $7.32, 733. Just we'll put the line there for right now. That was a really strong historical level, folks. Not just talking about iceberg orders or big prints on the time and sales, but $7.33 ish, right around there. Generally speaking, that was a strong top back from late November. So hey, it ended up acting as a really strong top just across most of the day, but with higher lows should come a higher high. So it took a while, but patience paid off to where once this finally made the real crack above 733 here, I had a pretty fortunate entry to getting in right before this took off. I set a stop limit order to anticipate the breakout. Well, I was able to get just about 60 or so cents, got it up towards 792, 791, where I got out, pushed up a little bit higher. For right now, with where this stock is for the meantime, easily we'll start by putting this on our main list for the afternoon. The BFRI stock, a stock that we're pretty familiar with, new IPO, pretty cheap too. So, broke all time highs back in late November, early December here, and hopefully we'll see a lot more. All right. Ari says blue is running up now. I was going to jump right back to blue and talk about that pretty quickly. Yeah, I guess pulling back a bit over the last minute, but was trying to pop heading into the afternoon meeting. Now making a pretty ugly shake back down, huh? So yeah, blue. I mean, talk about choppy. If I said that BFRI trade was choppy, this is like 10 times choppier. Looking at the way this was moving and grinding up in pre-market, failing to break higher here. Well, when the market opens up, and this is something hopefully we'll have a better chance to talk about tomorrow in our Traders Talk workshop, our weekly Q&A that we do every Tuesday in Cyber Group. 740 was the main level to watch, and that was a level as early as 7:15 Eastern time this morning. We ended up seeing a 136,000 share print get posted on the tape right at that price early in pre-market. You don't really see that happen too frequent, so that's why I was shedding the importance on that price level after the open. This ended up tanking pretty fast. It made like a hold from 750. It popped up. I thought it was going to run. I took my eyes off it for a split second. It tanked. It came right back down, and it dropped so fast and popped right back up so fast. Unfortunately, even though I had this 740 level in mind, I had this level on my chart. I was watching the trade. I'm kicking myself that I missed it. It broke right under and over the 740 and completely took off from there. Ended up making a beautiful near 3-point move up as it came kind of close to 10. Right now, though, yes, as Ari's saying, it is pushing back up for the meantime here. It's really got to begin to show signs of life over 9. You would assume 9 as a whole number level anyway for that to be a big point of resistance. Yes, true. Absolutely, I would say that. But this morning this morning after the market opened up, this is, and I'll show this on my level 4. I'll show this on Bookmap. I'll bring this up here. Talk about the big opening bell, closing bell prints, pre-market prints. Well, right at 9:55 in the morning today on this blue trade, we ended up seeing one print come in on the tape for 291,000 shares. So we would assume anyway 9 to be a strong level, big iceberg level. Well, folks, there was a 291,000 share fill on the tape. So I'd like to think not only is that going to be a strong level right now, but perhaps compared to other whole numbers or 50-cent levels where the stock was trading, 850, 950, it's likely to be bigger than those two levels. So you know what? I'll put this on our main list so far. By the end of this meeting, if this ends up completely going south the other way, then I would remove it from the watch list because we can't short this stock, unfortunately. So if it false breaks from here and completely dumps off, then I'll probably remove it from our list at the end of it all. All right. But I'll tell you what, I'll go from top to bottom here. We'll see what else we could add on to our list thus far. The NES trade we had called out really as soon as the market opened up. Fausto, this was his first call out on the morning, ended up making a beautiful pop really from like 180-ish, pre-market activity from 160, but popped essentially from 180, took off all the way up towards an essential high of the day of 339, 340. It goes to show though two things. One, typically around 10:30 Eastern time, for as much as a stock moves up, you got to expect for this to begin to hit resistance, make a false breakout, if not full-fledged reversal. And that is to a great degree what had happened right prior to 10:30, right on the nose actually, right on the kisser at 10:30 Eastern time, this thing topped off. So for all of our, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond C2 students in Cyber Group, you folks should know that. You should have that like the back of your hand, talking about the cyber clock and knowing when it's more likely to see reversals or shakes. 10:30. But aside from that, aside from just 10:30, it's not like the market makers have their Fausto Pugliese cyber clock on their wall and they're counting down the seconds. Of course, that's not the case, folks. But just look at the volume. Look how much more selling volume comes in once this peaks, and then look how little volume gets filled after that point. That is a huge telling sign, and that leads me to say if it's not going to keep breaking higher, then it's going to begin to pull back. It's going to begin to go the other way. So, yeah, the NES stock for right now, really flat, lower highs even here. Not too impressed right now. PTPI, talking about something I am very much so impressed by. Really nice continued move from Friday on this trade, PTPI. So, of course, no brainer. Put this right on the top of our watch list with the BFRI stock. New high of the day here. I see a 28,000 share order on the ask. Of course, a 44,000 share order, a couple of pennies above that. How about this? Whoa, how about this? I'm going to show you something. Looking on level 4 right now for PTPI, a 110,000 share print just got filled on the tape at $4.20. That came in at 2:35 Eastern time, folks. If I scroll back on the time and sales here, let's see if I could try and find that transaction or transactions, because it seems like it came up in two block prints, 419, 420, totaling over 100,000 shares between these two prints alone. So, if you're asking where the big money is, where the smart money is, however you may phrase it, hey, we had big money at $4. Don't get me wrong, and it propelled from there. But your next level ahead certainly was 420 after seeing those block prints come in on the tape. So let's keep the good times going right now. Next resistance ahead on this trade is 450. All right, so we got a decent list so far. We got the BFRI already. We talked about that. FHTX. Nah, this thing's not going anywhere. Had a lot of activity in pre-market for as much as it gapped up, actually. It was starting to run after 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off even before the market opened up there. HUSN Hudson News, is this? Hudson Cap. That's not really going anywhere right now. Familiar name, at least for all of us inside the Cyber Group room. We've traded this stock on and off previously. All right, we keep it going. BCLI ended up making a nice pop. What is that, like 1 o'clock it popped? All right, so afternoon. But unfortunately, though, the volume totally died off. I mean, you could just see it on the volume bars, right? Just gradual waning of volume from 1 to 130. Looks like we had a spike where we saw the stock potentially break a new high of the day, but came right back down. So I like the afternoon part of this, the fact that it popped going into the afternoon, but I'll come back to this at the end. Not fully committed to this trade just yet. The EFOI, same thing. I'm definitely less committed to this even compared to the BCLI. Why do I say that? Because this stock has just been, very choppy since we started to trade it back. What was that, Wednesday last week? It traded great volume in pre-market, and it was just a chop fest after. It was really tough to trade. Today, looks like it made a nice pop, a couple of pops, but again, I'll come back to this at the end. If it shows more signs of life by the time we're done with this meeting, then I'll be, a little bit more interested. Uh-oh. That PTPI came right back down to 420. It's got to hold that 420 level and really begin to pop here soon. That might go the complete other way otherwise. Oh, this is a familiar name. OPTT for any of our newly enrolled students or members on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube joining us here for the first time. OPTT is a pretty familiar name. And just seeing the daily chart back from 2020, this should, this gives you good reason to try and become interested in this trade because we're not trying to swing trade the stock, folks, or any other stock we talked about thus far, but it's just to say if this stock can make a fraction of the type of move it made for us back in October or November of 2020 or going into the beginning of this year, that would be a huge success. And with this stock trending up the way it is here, a little slow for right now, but I feel like this has a potential pop in the making. So for right now, Ocean Power, OPTT, definitely put this on our main list. We'll check out some other familiar names that have trended with OPTT in the past. CBAT, WWR, they're in the same business. I guess they're not really making that great of a move, but OPTT is, and for right now, we'll at least put that on the watch list. All right, so we'll keep it going though. Otherwise, we have ALZN, kind of a familiar name, a little spotty chart there. We have SOL, not the crypto Solana, but the ticker. What is that? Renesola, whatever the company is right there, trying to squint and look close. But yeah, right now, not a whole lot happening on that one. Markets are really flat. They dropped off, of course, from the market open today, so probably not going to find as much on the gainer side. Let's hop over to the losers list, see if there's anything looking even better on that side here. XFOR, just really flat right now. It's shortable, it's down big, not too close to the lows, but it piqued my interest for a minute, but not a whole lot happening over the last hour, really. Just skimming the rest of the losers here. Anything else that's shortable, easy to borrow on my platform, I'll be more keen to look at. The AMC trade, right? Yeah, AMC making a nice pullback right now. It is still shortable on TradeStation, and I'll tell you what, even if it was hard to borrow on TradeStation, not all of us are on TradeStation, whether it be Interactive Brokers, Thinkorswim, Tasty Trade, Fidelity, Interactive Brokers. I may have said that. Just because it's hard to just if it was hard to borrow on my platform, that wouldn't deter me from putting it on our main watch list for anyone else that could short this stock. So yeah, definitely either way, it is shortable on my platform, but I'm just telling you either way, folks. AMC is a great stock to watch here as a short heading into the close. All right, so that's a good one. I like this one. We'll put this one near the top of our list, actually. GameStop, I guess, going with it, down about 13% itself. Folks, that's all you got from me here across the gainers and losers lists. If there's anything else that looks good, is moving up or down in a clear direction, up, down more than 5%, just type it in the chat board. Just let me know pretty quick. All right. But with the markets dropping off this morning, you would figure that Bitcoin would drop with it. So this is what we've been kind of working with from Friday afternoon. I told you folks that with it beginning to break again below these white trend lines here dating back to March of 2020 from the beginning of the pandemic, pretty historical, pretty strong trend lines. So if it's going to continue to break these trend lines, this is not surprising. So definitely stinks that it's happening. But as far as emotional standpoint, I'm expecting a further drop. So I'm not really that upset or frustrated. I have not bought since I returned back from Florida. That was back right around 47,000 or so, or no, that was after Florida. But right after this big shake, I got back in, added more at 47.5, 47.6. Haven't bought since, but these red lines that I have on my chart are new. I just put this up here, and I'll dig into this for a quick moment. So it's to say that should we happen to continue to see Bitcoin drop off further, don't get me wrong, it could easily continue to drop more, but I'll personally be more interested in looking to buy, adding more to my position here if it could pull back closer to those red lines. Here's like a fib extent or a fib retracement, basically from the top here, going all the way to the beginning of the pandemic back in March of 2020. So for what it's worth, right over here, the 61.8% retracement line, that's what I basically drew as a potential pullback here on this Bitcoin chart. So if we happen to see continuation going into the after hours tonight, heading into overnight, if we happen to see it pull back closer towards 44.5, maybe 45,000 here, I'll be very interested in adding more. And I'll continue to add more over time, but I haven't since right here, and I won't continue to do more until it gets a little bit closer to where I had those lines. All right, folks, I'll tell you what, we're pretty much good for right now. I mean, hey, unless if we look at Riot or Mara, Bill's asking for us to look at Riot here. So, you know what? It's dropping off right now. We typically see these crypto or Bitcoin mining affiliated stocks fail to continue trending in their main direction going into the final, hour of the day. So just kind of bounced from 24 here a bit. If the markets stumble off more, Bitcoin drops off a bit further, then easily I would say Riot's going to go with it. But for right now, I'll put this on our main list here, Bill. I like the Riot trade in particular. Mara will probably go with it, be a little bit more expensive, but they're trending the same. I'll add Riot in particular to our list for right now. All right, Leda says SEAC pop. What's up? Let's check. Well, the fact it's up 67%, that is a no-brainer. No-brainer here. I don't know what's up, though, Leda. I do not know why this stock got halted. It's currently halted. Got halted at 2:45 and 48 seconds, so it should reopen up if it's within 5 minutes at 2:50. All right, so good call. All right, folks, I think that's just about it for me here. Hey, I like this list. I really like this list. That's not just me saying that. I feel like we have a good number of stocks to have on our watch list. I didn't really feel forced to add one or over another. So I like what we have. AMC and Riot on the way down, PTPI on the way up, the BFRI and SEAC also here on the way up. So a decent list thus far, folks. I'm going to jump on to a call coming up at 3 o'clock. I'll be back on shortly after. But otherwise, if you see something, say something, and we'll see if we can make any more money here heading into the final 75 minutes left. I'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care.